roll sound.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
So
my name is ALINA BEA, and I make music. I sing and I write and I produce, and I also play guitar and keys and a lot of other stuff in other people's bands too. Yes, I'm working on a full-length album, and it's crazy and exciting. One of the first for me was Joni Mitchell. She was really, really significant for me. And I really particularly was inspired by her ability to be really vulnerable and very feminine, but also like totally herself and totally empowered. And like vulnerability wasn't a weakness, it was a strength, so that was cool. Well, the best thing about the creative process is when you like, I think there's like a lot of trying and there's a lot of like pushing yourself and there's a lot of like forcing, trying to like force things to happen, but then like there's that moment where everything like clicks into place and you really hit your stride and you feel like you're finally making something that's new and that's like your own. That moment when that happens is like really essential and special, and once that happens it's like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this. I use my loop pedal a lot for writing because I like to kind of loop harmonies and write harmonies that way. So I kind of will start a loop and then layer it, and I'll use it as like a writing tool mostly. I don't use it live. Usually like I'll start, I mean when we first started this album, I'm working with a producer, I had like, a couple songs that were like pretty much finished, and then I brought them to him and we kind of developed them. But there's a few others. We're working very collaboratively right now, so it's like I'll kind of have an inkling of an idea and he'll like write a drum part and then I'll come in, and that's really, really cool because it really like expedites the process, and it's really nice to feel like I have someone I can like trust that understands my aesthetic, that I can really like bounce things off of. My favorite thing about music? Well, I think that I mean, everybody loves music. In some way or another, music has touched everyone's life in some way. And that's something that everybody understands. That's something that like anyone can identify with. So I think as someone who makes music, that's a really cool feeling to feel like I can connect with someone in that way, or I can be, I've listened to an album 5 million times and it's like touched me in some way and it's been really significant to me in some way. So I hope to be able to do that for other people, to kind of occupy that place for them. Well, I think I don't have any like, illusions about the style of music that I make isn't really super mainstream. Like I don't expect like fame and fortune really, and also like, the music industry is really different now, so it's hard to kind of strike gold unless you're like a huge pop star. To reach a place where I'm obviously like making a living off of it, not be distracted, not have to do a million other things in order to support my music. That's really where I'm struggling right now, is like, okay, I have to do 5 million things so that I can play my music. I just want to play my music. I want to be able to play, the type of music that feels creatively fulfilling to me, and that and I would like to play with other musicians who I respect, and I'd like to have respect from musicians that I respect. For that, standing up for actual equality, that's what it means to me. I think that probably everybody who's involved in this has experienced some sort of discrimination because of our gender. The thing that really bothers me is when like I think I'm making a connection with a producer or another musician or something, and then they just want to hit on me. It's like really, and every time it like surprises me somehow, but it's like it keeps happening, and it's like it's really insulting. It's just like, oh, you think that's all I'm good for as a woman? Like it's very, and just being underestimated in general. I mean, like that's cool. Like we can prove them wrong. Like like there's like any number of ways we can prove them wrong, and I do feel like there has been this obvious like surge of like especially in this scene, like this desire to kind of like really recognize the female presence in the music scene in LA and like how significant that is, and like really support each other, and like all the women here like really supporting each other, and like really raising each other up, and that's really cool. But there's still, like, you know, I forget sometimes because it's so great here, and because I do get a lot of respect here. And then when it sneaks in, I'm just like, damn it. It's still real. I think we should really speak up about it. I think that a lot of the time, you know, we just expected it, or we were used to it, and so we don't say anything, or, you know, we need to tell each other, tell everybody, just like be really, really vocal about it, and just like make it clear that like that's not okay. Like you can't just say that to me, or you can't just do that to me, you know, because I'm a woman. And I think especially like being a woman on stage, like people think that they can just like do whatever to you, like, oh, you're putting yourself in the public eye, and like, so I can just say anything to you, or I can just, and it's just like, it's really disrespectful and rude, and I'm sure that they don't even really know, they're not even really conscious of like, because they just think that you're this like image of something on stage. You're not a human being that's like working your ass off, you know, like, so yeah, just drawing people's attention to it, talking about it, and then just like, you know, being a badass, like being as good as you can be, and not doubting yourself, because I think that's another really big thing, is that like, because it's so institutionalized, like we don't expect as much for ourselves as a man would in the same position. Like I see it myself, I see it in the way that I do things every day. Like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I was like, why? Like, there's no reason that I should think that, you know, no real reason. I really like playing at the bootleg because the sound's really good there. I've been playing a lot of bands in LA for a long time, for many years, like in different incarnations. In this project, I haven't, like, the Echo on Thursday will be the first time I'm playing there with my project. I've played there in like a couple other bands. But I always like playing there. It's right down the street from my house, which is really nice. And it's like a good community of people. But yeah, just like getting the support of the community, like those residency nights are really, really cool. Yeah, just being able to walk out of my door and like, you know, seeing people that inspire me all the time. That's really important to me. My name's ALINA BEA, and I'm playing I Was Pretty Like a Girl on Thursday at the Echo, July 28th at the Echo, 2 days before my birthday. So wow. I will be celebrating.